Well, hello, everyone. It's Wednesday. What's up?
What's up? What's up?
Thank you for joining us today for our What's Up Wednesday virtual training session. I'm Ann Witherspoon, and I've got Elena on another window, and I've got John on the soundboard for some entertainment, and we're your iTechS for Midlothian ISD. I'm so excited. Yeah.
All right.
We're a little excited today because we have a few very special guests from our district. We have Kristi Ramirez from Mountain Peak Elementary.
It's like Christmas morning.
We have Fernando Sanchez from Walnut Grove Middle School.
All right, all right, all right.
We have Melissa Bartlett from Longbranch Elementary.
I've been waiting for this.
And of course, we've also got Melodi Kunn from Dieterich Middle School. They're all joining us today to talk about their Tcea experience from last week and to share some of their takeaways and cool things that they learned from last week. For those of you who may be wondering what the heck is Tcea, it's a yearly Texas Computer Education Association conference, and it focuses on research-based best practices, tips, tricks, resources for learning in the digital age, or as Tcea would put it, advancing teaching and learning through technology.
You're going to learn today.
That's right. We are going to learn today. So I'm going to throw it over to Elena to get us started.
That's right. And we are thrilled to know that several of our MISD staff, as the ones featured here and many more, were given the opportunity to attend this year's conference, since it technically was in our backyard here in Dallas, Texas. So let's dive in and get started with today's presentation.
Cannonball!
First up, we have Kristi Ramirez, who is the librarian at Mountain Peak Elementary.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
Kristi, what knowledge nuggets from Tcea do you want to share with us today?
Okay, first I was worried about my song, but that was perfect. So yes, I'm Kristi Ramirez. I am the librarian at Mountain Peak, and let me share my screen. Okay, I have a bunch of caution signs, so I may have y'all click for me. Okay. So I attended a session on Wakelet, which I'd heard a little bit about, but this was a nice way to dive into some more information. And Wakelet is a way to just curate a lot of resources into one place. It kind of has a similar look to Pinterest, but it can be used two different ways. So the way that immediately came to mind for me, a lot of times when I do research projects with students, we have great library resources, but there are also some great resources online. And with the younger students, we like to kind of give them the best of the best, but it's hard to say, go here and log in this way, go, you're just kind of all over the place. And Wakelet is a great way to bring all those resources into one place so that it's easy to locate and get to. And so it's also easy to share with students through Canvas or Seesaw once you get a Wakelet created. There's a shareable link, so it's all in one place. It's easy to build. You can add text, URLs, even Google Drive items. So lots of different resources can be put into one place. So if you're doing a research project, it'd be a great way to get the best resources in kids' hands. Another way on the flip side is if students are wanting to create a product, it's super easy to use. There is a Google login, so it's easy for them to get into and build their own Wakelet so that they can even share it as a report. Students could work together and be building at the same time. So even for group projects, this would be nice to use. There are lots of different uses. I just got, I think, the tip of the iceberg from the presentation that I saw. It is free. And it would also be good if any of you use choice boards. It would be a great way to create choice boards. And there's even a getting started with Wakelet. So Elena, if you'll click the link there, and this way you can also see what Wakelet
We
will share.
actually don't have a live, it's just a
Mhm.
picture of it. But are you not able to share? I've got
I think some of my Zoom settings, I think I would have to get out and come back in.
Okay. So hold on, let me get this and
wouldn't
I'll
let me
share my
share.
screen.
So again, so some of the resources, it's easy to add text, pictures, URLs. You can add GIFs, Google Drive items. So this is, if you scroll through this way, so this is what a finished product looks like. So see, they were able to add videos from YouTube. You can even link in Twitter feeds if you needed that. So it's just very easy to add to the presentation. And again, I thought it was neat that it worked both ways. So teacher to student, but also students creating products to send back to teachers is also very easy. Okay, thank you, Anne. And then I also went to a Tech Tool Smackdown where they just quickly introduced several tools. One of them is a site called Genially, and it is interactive presentation. So it's kind of like Google Slides on steroids. So there are pieces that move. You can link within the presentation. So if you ever used, was it ThingLink several years ago? So there are different places for students to click on. I did like, there's always on the slide, you can click to see where the interactive pieces are. So if you can't find it, get a little hint of where to click. And again, you can link all kinds of information in one place. But something that I thought was really interesting is that it's also great for infographics. And there was even an example of a way to use it for newsletters. And if you're able to, could you share again? Okay.
I've got it. Let's get this up here.
And the link to this TCA presentation, when they were talking about Genially, if you'll scroll, I think it's the third slide.
Let me get my,
okay.
Hold on.
They show lots of different ways you can use it for quizzes with multiple choice answers. And if you'll click on newsletters, it's on the right, the third column. Yeah. And then maybe the third example.
Going this way, this one?
Yeah. So this is just a newsletter, but then each of those pieces is interactive. So you can link pieces there too. Again, this is a great one. Could go both ways. Teachers sharing information with students, and then a great, easy tool for students to create products that they can share back with the teachers. And then another neat tool, it's an app called 1 Second Every Day. And this was, it's, I think, not really school related, but you can easily make it school related. So it takes 1 second videos every day that you can stitch together. And so we immediately started kind of brainstorming different ideas. And the person sitting next to me was like, that would be amazing if a class were doing like the butterfly project where they're have their chrysalis building. And if they just took that 1-second video every day and then stitch it all together after they've hatched, they would have the whole video there together. Thinking of lots of different ways to use this. This would even be great just in the classroom, just to take that one little snippet. And I did look up, we were wondering, I was like, how would you remember? But there is a way to set for reminders so that it will remind you to take that 1-second video each day. And so it would be a great end of the year, quick video, but also a lot of great ideas to use in the classroom as well. And then unscreen, if you've heard of remove.bg, where you can remove the background from images, unscreen is the same thing, but for videos and GIFs. So you can take the background out of a moving object and then put it into your presentations. So I thought that was pretty cool. And then there's a make your own Wordle site. So I know that's kind of the rage right now. I just finished mine before the presentation today. I had to get it in. But this one will allow you to make your own so that you could play as a class and it wouldn't ruin the Wordle of the day. So you could also connect it to your curriculum in whatever subject you teach. So a great vocabulary review also.
Thank you. Those are some awesome shares. Thank you so much. All right. So next we have Fernando Sanchez, who teaches tech apps. Waiting for your walkout song. He teaches tech apps at Walnut Grove Middle School. Oh, it's not. No. We are having technical difficulties.
That's okay. I hope I can. I certainly wanted to show a bunch of things. So I'm Fernando Sanchez. I teach tech apps at Walnut Grove Middle School. I am hopefully going to share my screen. I really hope. All right, desktop one. Do you see my?
We do.
Hey, got him, coach. All right. So there was several things that I got from Tcea. It would take me longer to go through them. So I'm going to try to go fast because I'm long-winded. I really am. Ask my wife. She tells me all the time, I talk too much. Save. Okay, I'm going to go real fast. The Google hacks. Man, I could spend all day on these ones. This is my favorite one to go to at Tcea because I love all of these Google hacks that nobody knows about. Whenever Mr. Pettijohn and I talk about these things in our snack mix tech in the summers, everybody goes, whoa, ooh, ah, and it's awesome. So the first one I got that I ooh and awed was called Save Your Google Image Search. And by the way, there's a link next to each of these just to kind of take you. I'm sure we're going to share this with everybody so it can take you to how to do these things. So I'm going fast. Save your Google image search. That was crazy because let's say that you were just looking for let's say you were looking for an image online of a sloth. And we do this all the time. We search for images all the time online, right? And we see a bunch of them. I think a lot of us already know about the tools where you can choose what size of image you're looking for, what color. The black and white is a good one because that'll give you some coloring. No, I'm sorry. The under type, the line drawing, you can come up with coloring sheets for any kid or anything or adult, not just kids. Adults color too. But the thing I really liked was, I'm going to go back to just regular stuff, was that when you start looking at stuff you like, let's say you like this guy, right up here, I never realized this, but in the 3 dots right here, you can say add to. And it doesn't look like it did anything, but I'm going to do it with 3 different ones that I think I like and would like to use. And I'm going to go add to. When you're done, you simply go to google.com/save. And these are the things that you say. So I've never known about this, saving your images, because I would just download them, put them in a folder, and the whole time I could have been pressing add to, and here they are. You can even come down here and you can create collections. So this is my collection of sloths, okay? So now you have a little folder, if you want to call it, they call it collections. You can come here and you can select the ones that you want to put them over in your sloths folder. Pretty amazing, I thought. Gosh, pretty easy way to keep your images that you've been searching for. So that was a good one. I liked that one a lot. Open an image as a Google Doc. I liked this one a lot too, because let's say you have an image, somebody just took a screenshot of a worksheet, but you want this text and you want to be able to edit it or do something with it. Well, if you write, and you can also do it with PDFs, if you right click and just say open with Google Docs, they have built in OCR, optimal character recognition, that will read the text, and it's pretty cool the way it does it. It comes out with the image on top right here that you originally had, but underneath it has all of the stuff that you can actually go in and edit and do like that. So that was a good one too. Wait, where am I? Lost myself. Okay, easily access content in G Suite apps. It doesn't matter what app you're in. There is right now I'm in Google Slides. There's a little explore tool right down here. And I teach my kids this because they never have to leave the app to get stuff. You can start typing. Let's say I'm looking for something that I use on my Wacky Wednesdays. I can type in Wacky Wednesday. I come up with results from the web. I come up with images, but I also come up with things from my Drive. So you can access your Google Drive right inside of any of the Google apps just by going to that Explore tool. The next thing is Zoom. I love this one because I didn't know about this, but you can Zoom on anything by going to Apple System Preferences. And again, this is all in there, so you can click on it. You don't have to memorize it. Accessibility. And when you come to Zoom, you tell it which button do you want to use to press when you zoom. I say option because I don't use that for a whole lot of things anyway. So you choose use scroll gesture and option. What that lets you do is wherever your mouse is, for example, if I want to zoom in right here, you put your pointer there, hold down option, and you scroll with your mouse. And it allows you to zoom in on things. That helps a lot in class when you're trying to show kids a certain thing and they're sitting in the back and they can't really tell what it says. You can easily zoom in on things like that. Pretty cool. I like that one a lot. The next one was self-grading worksheets. I'll let you guys kind of open that because I could take forever. It was pretty cool because I'm going to open it and show you. Because it's a self-grading worksheet based on conditional formatting in Google Sheets. Okay, so depending on what you put in each of these boxes, it'll turn a certain color. This can be a worksheet that kids use that if they put the A in, then it's red. That's wrong. They got to choose one until it's right. And again, all of the information on trying that is if you'll follow this, you'll find out. Collaborative note-taking was pretty cool in Google Sheets. The basic idea was having people take notes together. You can create a Google Sheet and assign a different part of it to each student in the class or to each group. It acts like it's opening, but it's not. There it goes. So basically, here's one of the examples that she gave us that was kind of cool. So you'll notice that right here, red blood cells, white blood cells, right here under note takers, you say, here's group 1, here's group 2, and so on. You can type in their names. You can give each of them a cell to type in so that everybody is taking their notes together. Collaborative note taking. All right. Goal setting and tracking was a really good one. And she already has it created, so you don't recreate the wheel. I thought this was really good. If every kid had this and could track themselves, it makes a huge difference. In elementary school, we used to have the kids do bar graphs every time they took what we used to call common assessments, or I don't know what you call them. We've called them so many different things, benchmarks, whatever. But they would track themselves and it gave them something to work towards because they were tracking their progress. And this was called personal academic goals. Pretty neat itself. Slides and Pear Deck was really cool. I had never used Pear Deck before. And Pear Deck, I used it today for our circle time in my win time. And the basic idea, the gist of it is it's Google Slide. It's a slideshow that's interactive that the kids can type in and do. I'm going to let you guys watch that as well. The Chrome extension for it is there. Canva for education. I think someone else was going to go into that anyway, so I'll let them go into that. Bitmoji, what's that? Melody, you're doing that. Right?
I was just going to bounce off of you though.
Right. Well, my basic idea was that there are free educator editions where you get more options because you made yours an educator, and you can create classrooms within it for kids to submit things and things like that. Bitmoji was pretty cool because you can change the body parts. You can crop the head off of one and put it on a different one. That was mind-blowing, super ridiculously simple, but mind-blowing when you realize it. You can animate them. And then break the ice with some really good ideas for starting out on a fun note with your class. So I'm going to let you guys follow those links. I put them all there. You can email me if you have questions. That was super fast. My throat hurts. I'm done. The end.
Thank you, Fernando.
Thank you.
That was awesome. All right, so now we have Melissa Bartlett. John lost his audio. That's why we.
No!
Oh, when we screen share, we're kicking him off of the audio.
I lost my song. That's
Sing.
messed up.
He just needs to sing.
He's got, He needs to
just needs
sing.
to sing it.
All right, Melissa, I coach at Longbranch Elementary. What do you want to share with us today about your TCA experience?
Hello. I wanted to start off with the latest on brain research with Lori Gracie is where I started my session. It's really funny how the whole thing just kind of progressed into one led into the next. And so that's how I'm going to present it to you. So this is almost how all of my sessions went. So started with the executive director at TCEA. She started with the latest on brain research and education. And she shares a lot of things in here in this little presentation that I've shared. But the one thing that stood out for me was that our brains can hold a lot of information, but we have slow processors. And so we have to have things done repetitively. And so it's important that we're helping students with that. And so the next session that I went to was making learning stick, which is talking about how to do those kind of repetitive things. There's a whole list of things for her there that she shared. But one of the things that was really important to me was the retrieval practice challenge grids. It's like a spiral review, but you award points for the different strategies depending on how far back they have to remember. And so then it becomes a spiral review. That link right there will give you a list of a bunch of them. So it gives some great ideas to be able to create your own or choose one that they've already have. I've actually was telling a teacher about that today, and she said, make me one of those. I want one. And she even told me what she wanted it for. So that was exciting. So then that leads me into the blended learning session that I went to. This lady is actually selling her services, and I do link to her site, but just know I'm not asking you to reach out to her. What I want you to see from her is that the blended learning things that she talks about on her site. But so she talks about how you can create that ongoing practice and repetitiveness through station work. She actually calls those studios. And so she has your typical teacher table where you can differentiate the lesson after a whole group. You have independent practice where you use those self-checking things like Fern shared, which I actually have that on my list as well. But I felt like that was a really good one, how you could create those self-checking assignments with a spreadsheet. And then she has a video lesson that it can either be the teacher teaching the lesson, or it can be a different video teaching it in a different way where they can see it in a different way. So you could use different YouTube channels for that. And then the last one, what she called it future ready, where they actually create using that same information. So it keeps that repetitive thing leading back to that brain research. The next one that I went to was high yield instructional strategies with Google. This lady pulled some high yield strategies according to Hattie's effect size. And so she has, I'm actually going to show this one. She has a whole site that shows Hattie's effect size and the different strategies. So here you can see all the different strategies. And so you can pull like flip classroom, maybe, there it comes. It tells you the effect size. Anything over 0.4 or better is going to give you a year's worth of growth or more. And so the higher the effect size, the more growth you're going to get out of your students. But she also shows you all the Google tools that can help you with that. And so there is a wealth of knowledge in here. And so I thought that would be really good to share. All right, so me go to my second slide. I have two more things. So Fern actually shared this as well, the self-grading worksheets and the pixel art. I linked this to the folder that has all the templates and whatnot. Feel free to reach out to your iTechS because they will be able to help you with those formulas if you're not familiar with that. But it's not difficult at all, but you might need a little help with that. And then the last thing I want to leave you with is I kept seeing this over and over, and I thought this is a good thing to share. Like the different kinds of templates that are already created for you out there through Slides Mania, Canva, We Are Teachers, and Slides Go. And there are probably many more, but these are the ones that I pulled that have already created templates for you, such as create your own adventure, flashcards, flip books, game boards, all kinds of things that are already created, and you can just pull it and start. So that one was the one I wanted to end with. And so I hope you enjoy my tips from TCEA. Thanks for letting me share.
Thanks, Melissa. Right, and last but definitely not least, we have Melodi Kunn, who teaches tech apps at Dieterich Middle School.
Yeah, a little bit. Hey, okay. I teach a little bit of everything-ish TTE. So, and I think I've got mine working. Yes? Can you see it? Okay. So to start, but then I don't know what I had on that side. Sorry. I think I started with Book Creator. So the first thing I wanted to talk about Book Creator, we've had lots of different presentations on Book Creator, and Book Creator's fun and it is an interactive thing, but they've got some new things here now. So you can see my little guy right here, pushing up his glasses and smiling. And there's also 3D, and I'll show you how to get to these. So there are 3D models now inside of Book Creator. If you give it just a second, it'll load. So they've got these things that we can add in it, making our books even more exciting. And I do love Book Creator. And because the district pays for us to have it, we've got these things. So if you come up to come up to the plus, where all of your other media and shapes and things are, underneath more, there are all of these apps that you can add. So you need to come down to the bottom, and I forgot to set my timer. Sorry. Come down to the bottom and add apps. It's not starting. Is somebody timing us?
You are good, Melodi.
Okay. Come down to add apps. There is these ones that come with the free program. And then since we pay for it, we have these extra ones here. So there you can add them. And when you add them, it lets you, I'm going to unable it. It lets you decide what libraries you would like to put them in, or if you want to put them in all of your libraries. So if you have I have multiple grade levels, so maybe I don't want my 6th graders having something and I want my 8th graders to have something, or actually it would probably just be flipped. Limit my 8th graders and let my 6th graders have a little bit more freedom. So add some apps to your books. It makes them a lot more interactive and fun. And there's all these different things that you can do to them now. So when you're here, after you've added them, just come back up to that plus and to the more. And then I probably would not give any of my kids Jiffy. And the Bitmoji is tied to just the person because it's your Bitmoji, but the stickers, and there's all kinds of them, and just makes it all just a little bit more fun. All right, so Book Creator. The next one that I had, my bar just popped down in front of me. Hang on, sorry, get out of the way. The next one, what's the next one say? The next one says
Canva for education.
Canva, thank you. All right, so Canva, like Fern, I thought Fern was going to talk more, and I was just going to bounce on the end part there. So if you sign up for Canva with education, you get a whole bunch, your kids get a whole bunch more graphics as well. And then you can set up classrooms. So I have a classroom for my 6th graders, and I also have a classroom for my mixed ink kids. And then their work shows up in their area, and it kind of helps keep things a little bit more separated out. So we just kind of started with Canva with 6th grade today. So they joined my class, and then once they joined my class, we talked about, hey, now you've learned how to use Google Slides. Now you can learn how to use Canva presentations, because there's presentations in Canva as well, giving them just one more little tool. But This part I found and I really liked it and I wanted to share with y'all. Doesn't matter which one I pick. Come down all the way down here to the bottom where it says more. And when you click on more, there are these additional little apps that you can add. And this one, the draw tool, and it's got a glow pen. So sorry, that one made me really excited. I could make a glow pen, different things. But then there's also these little character people, and my 6th graders were super excited because they get to make their own little kind of Bitmoji to go with whatever story that they're telling. So you can pick your skin color, you can pick your hair color, you can pick your little body outfit. And so they were making a project, a little storyline, like a little flip book through it when we were showing how to use Canva and using the little people. The other thing that Canva has that I thought was pretty cool was it's called Canva Live, and it's a back channel to use. So if you were running a presentation, you could also use Canva as a back channel now. Everybody else kind of familiar with Canva? Yes. So I thought it was nice that we could have the classrooms and you could keep your kids' stuff separated, and the kids get a lot more graphics when you do that. I think the next one is Replit. Is Replit my next one? Oops, I keep clicking on Melissa's.
Yes, that's right.
All right, so the next one is Replit. That's really more for myself and anybody else who is teaching coding at a more than 6th grade level. But anyways, Replit is a place that it's a game engine for Kaboom. If you want to know more, I will share with you. And then esports, I'm trying really hard to get an esports going. John is kind of helping me, right, John? I've written to tech to try and get some contact with somebody to get us set up so that we can have online devices, since we can't use this network. But if you're interested in middle school, Fernando or Tracy, getting an esports group together, I'm looking to start not an arcade club, but a true esports where we're going to compete with Mario Kart or Rocket League. Those would be the 2 that we would use. And then I also just want to point out real fast, I did adjust this slide, and one of my iTech friends went back and readjusted and took off what I did. I covered that up so that was hidden, and then y'all fixed it and brought it back. That little circle right there. I went into the slide editor and took that away, because now it's over my words. All right, the next thing is WeVideo. WeVideo, a lot of us have had to practice with WeVideo. It now has classrooms, which is kind of nice. It's a lot easier than it was doing with the collaboration part. But the green screen part, because not all of us have green screens, that's my time. If you have even
You're
any
good.
color, okay, thank you. If you have any color, you could bring it in and use a little eyedropper, pick up the color, and then it will take away the color. So you don't necessarily have to have a green screen, or you don't have to have iMovie or any of those things to have, the kids can still put themselves on any kind of green screeny thing. The next one was student ownership. Melissa, I didn't realize you were in that one, unless she had 2 of them. That Marisha Kish.
She actually had 3, and you went to the middle school one, which I wish I had gone to as well.
Okay.
I went to her other 2.
Okay, so I really liked her, and yes, she is selling her service, but at the same time, she was given lots of good hints, lots of good things. She had this e-glass thing, which was really cool. If we stay with a virtual academy, we need e-glass. But one of the things that she was talking about is bringing stations and rotations back to secondary, or not bring it back, bring it to secondary. It's very successful in elementary school. It actually works really well in secondary too, having those small groups and giving those kids that one-on-one attention, actually calling them by their name and not table 2, table 3, or that row, this row. One of the couple of the games that she had was Jenga, and she numbers her Jenga cubes with numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they pull out the Jenga cube number 5, and then they look at the worksheet that has question 5. They answer it right. They've got a QR code that they scan to see if they've answered it right. If they answer it right, they get a point. If not, they don't get to put the Jenga block back on. They don't get a point for the Jenga block. grab bag. I thought this was kind of an interesting way to take that mundaneness out of a worksheet or some kind of spiral review where you cut up the strips and you put them in and they get to pull out of which bag that they're going to answer. You have to answer 5 questions. I don't care which bag you pull out of. She said she did it with one class where she actually differentiated the questions by the color of the bag and didn't tell all the kids, just told the kids that needed to know, hey, you're just going to pull from the yellow bag. And then another one was differentiating your levels of questions, give them the whole chart with all of the that's blurry, with all the questions and say that by the end of this lesson, you have to have 40 points. I don't care how you get your 40 points. Maybe you answer 3 or 4 10-point questions, and those questions are very easy, but it's that practice, that repetition of it. Or maybe the child feels they're really good at that concept, and so they just jump down to the one question that's 40 points, which is a lot harder and is challenging them to show really that they know the concept. Tech Tool Smackdown, Kristi was in that one too. They had, I thought this one was just fun for, we do a lot of videos and making our own sounds for our games. So I thought this would be fun for the kids to come up and make their sounds for their whatever is happening in their game. And they could have that little sound to play instead of using the one that is in the default thing. And then the last one is, I also teach an entrepreneur class, and I showed this to my kids today. My perfect presentation. This is 2 high school girls that you can write to them and ask them to create a presentation for you, depending on what it is that you are trying to get your point across with. But they also have ones that you can use, these templates that you can download for yourself. But if you want something professionally done, not professionally, more independent, what's the word I'm looking for? For you.
Individualized.
Specific, individualized. That's the word I want. And for 10 points, individualized. Individualized, they will create one for you. They charge $28 a presentation. So I'm not selling their business, but I am selling the point that, hey, these are high school kids. Come on, guys. We can make something too. There we go. I'm done.
Y'all, so I mean, I was just sitting here. It's funny because you all like mentioned a lot of my favorite things, but I'm just like, could we have picked anybody better to have presented their favorite things? Absolutely not. Thank y'all so much. Y'all were amazing. So my question for our guests or even our speakers, does anybody have any, does anybody have any questions at this point? One thing I did post the bit.ly for this presentation in the chat. It's bit.ly /best of TCEA 22. I'm really shocked that you were able to grab that bit.ly, Elena. That's probably somebody's going to be mad at us that we got it first. But anyways, I would encourage everybody to go back and check all those resources out. Do I have any questions?
All right. So glad we were, y'all were able to join us today. And I know that time is basically ended. So I'm going to make this quick, but we do have an implementation task that we've been doing with all of our What's Up Wednesdays. But after you've heard all these wonderful things, we're hoping that you will want to implement something or learn more about it. And so no matter what, whether you do the implementation task or not, we want to make sure that you do click on this link and share, or not share, fill out the form so that you can receive credit for attending today. But if you decide to do the implementation task, definitely give us some kind of proof. I say proof, showing us what the implementation task is. We'll gladly come help you or whatever, but that way you can earn that extra CPE credit.
Woohoo! Yay!
We like pictures because we want to tweet them out. Remember, if you need help or you need an extra set of hands, I get to be in a 4th grade class tomorrow doing WeVideo newscasts. So if you ever need an extra set of hands, we're glad to go to your class and be that extra set of hands, help you in being able to design something. Or if you just have questions and you need to bounce some ideas around, we are here for you. So just put in a help desk ticket and let us know about it. So we're going to sign off.
Have fun storming the castle.
See everybody next month. Bye.
Bye.